Well, it may be too high for you to handle, but not for Lombardo's tree service. Because you see, they've been whacking away at trees and such for 20 years now. Recently, there was a 5-story high, thoroughly rotten tree over in Beaumont that had to be made safe for a home beneath it. We wondered how they'd go about it, so we went along to find out.
What a day for a daydream. What a day for a daydreaming boy. And I'm lost in a daydream, dreaming about my bundle of joy. And even if time ain't really on my side, it's one of those days for taking a walk outside. I'm blowing the day to take a walk in the sun and follow my face on some of this new mode lawn. I've been having a sweet dream.
Well, in things like this, there's always unaccountable factors. But how the limb is inside. It may have a rotten streak in it. But that's why some of the limbs are safer to drop them than it is to lower them, because this tree is so rotten. But that's why he has to use a rope for himself, separate from the one he uses to lower limbs. I think it makes this tree so difficult is the fact that it's gotten so rotten, and it's been rotten for such a long time. Generally, it's in the best interest not to wait to take a tree down when it gets this bad. He has to take, because once he takes that whole limb off, well, then it takes the weight off the tree. He undercuts the limb first, and then he'll cut it on the front in such a way to make it try to go one way or the other. He's probably going to make it come this way, so we'll step back. You'd be surprised how much the tree will shake when he gets up in it. You wonder how it stands in a windstorm. It shows how well trees are made. Yeah. Usually a tree like this doesn't usually fall, just pull up out of the ground, although sometimes they do pull up out of the ground. They usually just start dropping their limbs, and that's a natural process. And that's what's happening here, is the limbs are starting to fall and break off at every place. And eventually the whole tree would fall down at the last. And it usually falls in a still, not always in the wind. Right after a storm, when a tree's been shocked and put under stress, well, then after it sits still and it just finally it breaks, just like in the movies. See, you can see that the climber has to use the proper amount of safety equipment. He has a strap that's a heavy nylon strap that goes around the tree. That's his climber strap. That prevents him from falling should he cut the rope or anything. And it keeps him close to the tree. And the trunk of the tree is naturally the strongest part. He also has he's going to have a safety rope also in addition to that. So he's double safety. Because it doesn't matter how much insurance we have, you can't replace a person. Mike Moling, he's our climber. He's been with us for quite a while now, and he's turned out to be one of our best climbers. We've had many good ones through the years, but they always seem to stay with us. I don't know why they choose, because it's hard work. It's very hard, and the pay is not as good as it should be. No matter how much you want to pay, you're risking your life there, you know.
How long has Lombardo's been in this business?
We've been in here about 18 or 19 years. 1963 is when we started here in Beaumont.
How many of you is it?
Well, there's my father. He's the owner of the business, and there's Reuben Sastry. He's the manager and owner with my dad, and then there's myself, and then we have two crews, and this is one crew here that you see today, Mike and Donald and Mitchell Lewis.
Okay. I've got one last question for you. Okay? Is anybody in the Lombardo family afraid of heights?
No, and if we are, we'd already been dead.
I've been there, my suitcase ready and my dog bed.
Well, did you find this job any more difficult than any of the others you've ever done?
Yeah. You never know if it's going to be your last tree or not. You know, you've always got a chance for the whole tree to break off or the limb you're standing on to break and getting cut by the saw, stuff like this.
This tree is always a challenge, huh, this type of thing?
Always.
Is that what you enjoy about it?
Yeah, not as much as water skiing, but I do enjoy it.
Lombardos Tree Service, 2920 Concord Road in Beaumont. Man, I wouldn't get up there for $1 million. Taking on the most challenging assignments for over 20 years now, Duncan.
Well, that'll do it for another Weekend Magazine.
Join us again next Sunday for more about our neighbors here in the Golden Triangle and, of course, Southeast Texas.
Our address is Weekend Magazine, Post Office Box 3257, Port Arthur, Texas,
77640. Until next weekend,
so long.
au revoir.